So hey everybody, and welcome to my channel. Those of you that are new, which is pretty much the majority of you, I thought that I would do a quick introduction video for those of you that don't know me. My name is Lissa. I am the soap chef here on this channel where we make all things with a rather good lather. This is actually our sister channel. We have our main channel, which is the Soap Chef. I created this second channel out of necessity for doing bath bomb mold demonstrations because we make and sell 3D printed bath bomb molds. I was starting to do that over on my main channel, and because we have a lot of molds, I think we're at like 200 and something now, with probably a good 100 more to go. We have a lot of molds. And in order for people to be successful using our molds, they're going to need to know how to use them, how they perform. They'd like to watch a demonstration of it. So I was doing that a lot on my main channel, but a lot of my subscribers on my main channel don't even make bath bombs. They're kind of tricky for a lot of people. A lot of people won't even venture into it because they've just heard the horror stories and, you know, people failing time after time. It's really not all that bad, you guys. It's not. If you take your time and you watch some demonstrations on how to do it, and you have the right mix and everything else. I mean, yes, a lot goes into it, but it's not terrifying. It's not. And you guys can do it. You can. I have faith and confidence in you that you can do this. But anyways, so I got a lot of feedback from a lot of my regular subscribers, and they were saying, you know, it's redundant and getting kind of boring at this point because I'm just pumping out video after video after video. They're like 3 minutes long, just a quick demonstration. But I didn't want to continue to clog that platform up because my subscribers over there look for different things from me. That's why I created this second channel, so that I can devote this entirely to the bath bomb mold demonstrations, but also giving you guys recipes on bath creations, not just bath bombs. So that's what this channel is for. So who am I? Where did I come from? What am I all about? All right, let's get into that for a second. Anyways, I have been in this business. It will be 21 years on April 2nd. 21 years, you guys. It's a long time. I first started out many years ago. I mean, I've been self-employed pretty much my entire adult life. Yes, I've had different jobs here or there working for other people, but for the most part, I've either been self-employed or I've been an independent contractor working for other people. So I had a licensed daycare for many years. From there, I put myself through massage therapy school, and I had my own practice for many years. Due to an automobile accident, I had to stop doing that, but luckily I had already started the bath and body care business. So, and like I said, we've been doing that for almost 21 years. In another 2 months, it's going to be 21 years that we've been doing the bath and body business. We primarily sell our products out at fairs and markets and events and festivals. Of course, we do have the website as well, but most of our business is done in person, which is how we like it. We do not have a retail storefront. I don't want that. Everything that we make is done here in what I call the facility. This is just a big building. It used to be residential years and years ago, and we acquired this about 2 years ago now. And over those years, the business has evolved in many different directions. I used to live in the Poconos here in Pennsylvania, and I lived there for roughly 23 years. Had some personal situations going on and wound up shutting down the business and going back out into the field as a nurse and also a supervisor for group homes for intellectually disabled adults. And then I went into another company where I managed several. I think I had 6 group homes that I was managing at that time. Then I left there and went into the Office of Mental Health and Developmental Services, where I just retired from 3 years ago now, I think, so that I can get back into the business full time, because I was just doing it at that point on more of a kind of a part-time basis. So that's where we are. I'm in the facility right now. I'm getting ready to go over there and do some bath bomb mold demonstrations that have been requested. I've had a few people recently even request some bath bomb mold demonstrations. It's tough for me to try to keep up at this point because Like I said, we have over 200 molds right now and more coming. So wherein before, when I only had, a couple of dozen molds, it was really easy for me to keep up on the demos of those. And then I took a short break, a couple of months, from all social media because I needed to for my mental health. So I did that. I'm back now. I'm better than ever. I'm stronger than ever. That's about it for me. If you guys have any questions for me, even if they're personal, like, am I married? Do I have children? Do I have grandchildren? Whatever you guys want to ask me, I'm an open book. I have nothing to hide. Just ask me anything. I don't care. I'll tell you. So that's the tall and skinny on who I am and where I am and what I'm doing here on the tubes and what qualifies me to tell anybody anything, really. Experience. I've got 21 years worth of experience. I didn't fall off the turnip truck yesterday. As far as the Bath Bomb Mold business is concerned, that is going really, really well. We started that May of last year. So it's not even 1 year that we have been selling the molds. We purchased our first printer in January of 2022. So it's been 1 year since we purchased our very first printer. We have several printers now. They are top of the line Prusa. They are over $1,000 each. We wanted the top of the line, the best of the best, so that we could produce really high quality molds. We also, that's a great sound. That's from Etsy, and I love that sound. Sorry that that's being filmed right now, though. So now we have several printers, and we took many, many months to get to know that printer, figure it out, get all the quirks knocked out of there, fix anything that went wrong, because it's a machine and things go wrong all of the time. We got to test out many different types of filament before we settled on a really, really high quality filament, because I'm a maker. And the reason why I even bought my first printer to begin with was for myself, to save a little bit of money, because what I was finding out there was really, really expensive bath bomb molds, and I damn near went broke. In 2021, I spent over $1,000 in bath bomb molds, and the reason why I do that is because bath bombs are without question our #1 selling product. We sell out of bath bombs time and time and time and time again at pretty much every event, with the exception of some stragglers here or there, but they fly off the shelves. Not only because of the way that they look, because my husband paints them. We have an airbrush system, and then he also hand paints them too. So the way that they look are very, very appealing, and they are our #1 seller. So that's why I even got into the bath bomb making world to begin with. But then once we got comfortable with our printer and comfortable with the filament that we were using, and I was producing really good quality for myself, I thought, you know what, let me offer these to other people at an affordable price. They're going to get a really good quality item at an affordable price, because I care about you, another creator. I give a crap. I'm not trying to rob you blind. I'm not trying to make you spend every little dollar that you have just so that you can make really beautiful creations. I think that everybody needs to pool together, work together, help one another, encourage, support, lift up, build up, any way that we can help one another. Isn't that what we're supposed to be doing as creators in this community of makers, whether it's soap, bath bombs, cosmetics, what have you, but also just as human beings? Isn't it just the right thing to do? So that's why I got into all of this. So that is the tall and skinny on me. Enough of that kind of stuff. You guys didn't even come here to see me blabble on and on about myself. Why don't we go over to Creation Station? We're going to do some bath bomb demonstrations of some of our molds. I'm going to be giving you guys my own personal recipe that has been requested a lot. We're building up to that, remember. We started off on this channel with the bare bones basic nothing, but it's a really good recipe and it works. It's hard, it's not powdery, it's not crumbly. It's a good recipe. Then we kept building from there. Well, today is going to be the finale of that building. We're going to just go right into my own personal recipe. We're going to do some bath bomb demonstrations of the molds, some of the molds, not all of them, just a few of them that have been requested lately. And something else that I want to do is show you guys the difference in feels, looks, and textures. You know how when people are always telling you when you're making bath bombs, oh, it should feel like damp sand. Then the next person will say, no, you need it to feel like wet sand. And then the next person is going to tell you, you know what? You need that to feel like kinetic sand. Well, my friends, I happen to have regular sand and kinetic sand. And we're going to be making our bath bomb mixture. And I'm going to show you the difference in textures and feels and looks of all of those things. Hint, you don't want anything feeling like damp or wet sand or kinetic sand. No. Let's go find out together, shall we? Okay, we are over here at Creation Station. Let's start off by doing this whole sand situation here. Do we want it to be damp? Do we want it to be wet? Do we want it to be kinetic? What do we want? None of these. But let's just do it anyways. Why not? Let's put a little bit of water in here. We're going to make this damp. 3 ounces each. Sand. Just regular play sand. You can get it at any store. Let's just put a little bit in here. And we're going to stir it around. Let's go and make this wet. And let's take the lid off of our good old kinetic sand over here. I'll have to get some more of that anyways. Okay. All right, you guys, here we go. People are going to tell you want your bath bomb mixture to feel like damp sand. Other people are going to tell you that you want your bath bomb mixture to feel like wet sand. Now this is extreme, you know, you don't want it wet with a pool of water sitting on the bottom, but let's just take some off of the side here that's really wet. There you go. Let me go wash my hand, I'll be right back. All right, let's put those off to the side. Then still other people will tell you that you want your bath bomb mixture to feel like kinetic sand, which is like this. You don't want your bath bomb mixture to feel like this or to look like this or to perform like this. That is not what you are going for, you guys. Not. You see how it's stretchy? You don't want any of these textures in your bath bomb mixture. You don't want damp sand, you don't want wet sand, you don't want kinetic sand. Let's find out what we do want, okay? Okay guys, let's get rolling and making this bath bomb mix, okay? I've got everything in here. I'm gonna mix this up with my colorant. I'm gonna tell you guys everything that I've put in here in just a moment. I don't know if you guys can see this on camera or not, but there's a lot of bath bomb dust that is floating up into the air right now. Lots of tiny little particles. Most of that is going to be all of my powdered surfactants because we have added those in this recipe. I'm going to give you guys the recipe right now. This is my own personal recipe that I use to make and sell our bath bombs. Again, we started off with bare bones basic and we built upon that by adding some butters and some milk powders. We haven't added any bubblers yet. Well, we are going to today. I'm going to give you guys the recipe. You can screenshot it. I had to write over in the far column the grams because this is such a small little batch. I don't work in little small batches, but for the sake of these instructional videos, I do. All right, you guys, screenshot time. Ready? Here we go. Here's the recipe. And don't worry, I'm going to put this down below as well. If you guys didn't have time to get a screenshot or if you don't know how to get a screenshot, I am going to be putting the recipe below, so never fear. All right, so this is my own personal recipe, and we're going to get going. In here, as far as colorant is concerned, I have everything on this list here, my recipe, is all in here already with the exception of my liquid ingredients. Now, with the color, I am using a lake, and it is called Pine Lake. It's a blend, and it is from Serafina's, which I believe is up in Canada, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I purchase in bulk. I've got like 6 of these. But this is where I purchased it from, Serafina's, and it's Pine Lake. I only put half of 1 teaspoon in there, so we'll see how that goes. All right, the first thing we're gonna do is add our scent, polysorbate, and our witch hazel and alcohol blend, which is our binder. I call that my bomb spray. Let's get that into the pool. All right, let's mix. All right, you guys, let's get in here with our hands and mush this around and get these colors popping. I never go really, really dark on my greens or blues, or red for that matter. Yellow seems to be perfectly fine. Orange, purple, perfectly fine. But the green and the blue and the red, less is more. It can and will stain somebody's skin. Please wear a mask, you guys. These particles are still floating up in the air. You don't want to breathe that stuff in. Prolonged doing that will cause you some lung damage. I'm not trying to be a scaremonger. There have been plenty of first-hand experiences and accounts of this happening. Makers all over the world have posted it all over the socials. All right, there we go. That's what the color looks like. I'm satisfied with that. Now we're going to add our shea butter and our cocoa butter. Keep in mind, you guys, with my formula, with my recipe that I just gave you guys, this is where I live in the Northeast in Pennsylvania. Pretty wet here. Right now it's not bad at all. It's only 35% humidity right here in the facility. So you may have to tweak this recipe depending on where you live and how wet and or dry it is where you live. I don't have separate recipes for low humidity, high humidity, middle ground humidity. I don't play that game. I have one recipe. That's it. I'm just going to switch my gloves out. I have one recipe. The reason why I incorporate butters is to combat some of the problems that people encounter with low humidity and or high humidity. Butters is the answer to that. Butters is also the answer to a nice, round, smooth, non-powdery bath bomb. Okay, you guys, let's get our citric acid in here, shall we? We've got everything else. The very last thing, citric. So as you can see, like 1/2 of a teaspoon of that Pine Lake from Serafina's creates a beautiful green. Beautiful. Perfect for St. Patty's Day. This is like a St. Patty's Day green. All right, there we go. We're all mixed in here. And this is what the color looks like. All right, let's do a drop test, and then we're going to compare our bath bomb mixture to the damp sand and the wet sand and the kinetic sand that we've already done. I'm not going to repeat that process because we've already done it. But let's take a look, shall we? Okay, so look at this. It's not stretchy. Like I can't pull this apart and have it be stretchy like kinetic sand. It's not all damp like damp sand. It is absolutely not wet. like wet sand. You shouldn't have your bath bomb mixture resemble any type of sand. It should be a light, fluffy powder. That's it. Is it a little bit moist? Yeah, but it's not damp. This is not damp. It's absolutely not wet. And there's no way that this is kinetic sand, as you guys saw earlier, okay? But let's do our drop test. Get some of your bath bomb mix, squeeze really hard. Does it hold its shape? Yep. Drop that. Does it still hold its shape? Yep. All right, we're ready to go. I'm going to do a couple of Bath Bomb Mold demonstrations here that have been requested by customers who have purchased them. And they may be having a little bit of a hard time. I'm going to start off. There's only 1, 2, 3 of these that I'm going to do today, so patience. First, let me get this sand out of the way because that's ridiculous. All right. First, we have our 4 cavity round sphere. This is our, I think this is our 1.5. Yeah, this is our 1.5. But all of the 4 cavity spheres work in exactly the same manner. It doesn't matter if they're small or hard. With the smaller ones, you may have to be a little bit more patient, take a little bit more time, but they all work the same. So take this bottom cup, stick your outer shell right on the top, take your bath bomb mix, your nice, fluffy, light, powdery bath bomb mix that is not damp, and it is not wet, and it is not stretchy. All right, here you go. Let's just try to fill some of these cavities here. Try not to get it down in the middle of the hole. If you do, it's not really a big deal. It's just going to come right through the bottom. Fill, fill, fill. I give it my shakes, as always. Now we're going to mound that sucker up a little bit. Because remember, that top plate has got cups in it that we need to fill. So I'm mounding this up just a little bit. Okay, take that top plate that's got those cups in it and turn it over. Let's stick it on the top here. And we're going to give some presses. Turn and press. Turn and press. All right, that should be good enough. Now what I like to do is take my skewer. You can take whatever you have at home. I take my skewer and I get rid of that hole right in the middle just to make things easier for myself when it comes time to unmolding. I'm just trying to squish it down just a little bit more before I start to tap and get this off of here. All right, so get your spoon and tap. Turn it over and do the same thing. All right, let's take that bottom plate off of there with those cups. All right, so there's our round spheres down in there. Well, how the heck are we going to get those out of there now? Hold, please. Get your flip plate. Now, this is not going to work on the really big one. On the 2-inch and the 2.5-inch 4-cavity round sphere, these little plates won't work. You don't have to do that. You could just turn it over onto anything, really. You could even use the back of this if you'd like. I don't, but you could. Just turn that whole thing over. If you need to give some more taps, you can. Oops, there goes my molds over on the other side of the table, falling over. All right, straight up and off with that cup, with the plate, rather, that's got the cups on it. All right, so now we've got our little round spheres in there, and then just lift straight up. If you need to give a little bit of a help with your finger, just to get them out of there, that's fine. Now, I don't like a Saturn ring, so I try to like get rid of the Saturn ring, because I just don't like it. I don't like the way that it looks. I mean, if you do, then go ahead and leave it there. But anyways, so there's our 4-cavity round sphere, and this is, I believe this is the 1.5-inch round sphere, but they all work exactly the same. There's no difference. All right, let's do a different mold now that another customer of mine was having difficulty with, and that is the game controller mold. So we've got the 3 pieces here. We've got that bottom plate, which is flat, and our outer shell. Just stick that right up on the top. We're going to set the top part of that aside, lightly sprinkle, shake, more sprinkles. Build it up just a little bit because we've got that cup that needs to be filled. You don't want a mountain, but build it up a little bit. All right, take that cup, turn it over, stick it on the top, and give your presses. All right, good enough. All right, let's tap around that outside shell, loosen up all that bath bomb mix. All right, let's turn it over and tap that bottom plate. Turn it back over. I'm going to start tapping on that top cup, which has the designs. Let's turn it back over and we're going to lift straight up and off with that bottom plate. If there's any resistance, you guys, just tap some more. All right, so there's the bottom. We're going to put our fingers underneath and our thumb on the top of that outer shell. We're going to be pushing up with our fingers to get that up and out of that shell. All right, grab your flip plate or your cardboard, whatever it is that you have at home. Turn it back over. Now we're going to be trying to lift up as we're tapping. Did you hear that? How it just released like that? Don't want it to fall off of the plate. All right, there you go. There's our game controller. All right, what else? Oh, I know what else. We needed to do the rainbow cloud because there's 2 customers that reached out to me. One had purchased that game controller that we just did, as well as the 4-cavity round sphere. So we did both of those, but then I have another customer who was having problems with the rainbow cloud. So let's do that one next. Put this cup that has the design down inside of your shell. All right, we're going to give some sprinkles and then we're going to give some presses because we want those designs to come out. We're not going crazy. We're not packing this really tight. We're lightly pressing just to ensure that those designs come out. And if you guys need to, if you're taking too much time like I am, and your mix is starting to dry out some, add some more binder, whatever your binder is. Now, in saying that, I have my bottle of binder, which is my witch hazel and my alcohol. But if and when I need another spritz or 2 of a binder, I just use straight alcohol because that's what I have in my bottle. Anyway, all right, so take your top plunger, which is plain, stick that on the top of your mold, and let's give some presses. All right. Tap on the outside. Tap on the top. And then tap on the bottom. Now this is the cup, not the plunger. And this is where you have your designs. If you want to put that down on the table and give it a couple of really good whacks, you can. All right, let's turn it back over. We're going to push up and out of this shell. If you have to move your fingers around the shell in order to get that up and out of there, go ahead and do that. Just be careful because that top plunger is just going to want to go flying right on off of there because there's nothing holding it to the rest of the mold. So just go ahead and take that off. Grab your flip plate or whatever you have. You guys know by now, I'm not going to keep saying, you know, or whatever you have. If you have flip plates, which we sell, great. If you don't, that's great too. I've been using cardboard for, oh my God, 20 something years now. Okay, tap. Take some patience with that one, you guys. But here it is. There is our rainbow cloud. If you are having problems unmolding this and it's coming apart, falling apart, cracking, crumbling, just pieces, parts not holding together, add more binder or add more oil. This is where formulating, trial and error, research and development, all that stuff comes into play. If your mix is too dry, it's going to crumble. It's going to fall apart. You're not going to have a clean unmolding like we have here because my mix is just right. So if that happens to you guys, just go ahead and add some more of your binder or add some more of your oil. Remember, 3D bath bomb molds love oil, okay? So that's usually what I will do if my mix is getting a little bit too dry, but we're still good here. Like I can squeeze, I still have, you know, I can drop it, it's still staying together. So I'm still good. So do that intermittently if you are having problems. Do your squeeze test and see what's happening there. Okay, so I think that is going to do it finally. We did the round sphere, the 4-cavity round sphere. We did the game controller, and we did the rainbow cloud. And those were the 3 molds that 2 of my customers were having a hard time getting them to unmold. And for my one customer, I don't want to mention her name, but I love her. Anyways, for my one customer that was saying that she couldn't get the rainbow cloud to unmold and that it almost broke her, please don't let it break you. You can do this. You can do this. P.S. And by the way, on my main channel, you guys, there is a membership feature on my main channel, which is The Soap Chef. And in that main channel and in the membership section for $6.99 per month, you guys get access to all of the recipes that I share on the channels and more tips and tricks. You will also be privy to having one-on-one mentor sessions with me via Zoom if you are having that kind of problems. I hope you're not, but you can always reach out to me too. Listen, it's not just, hey, give me money or I'm not going to help you. I don't operate that way, and I will always have an answer for you guys. If I don't have an answer, I'm going to do my own research and development until I get an answer to provide for you. All right, on that happy note, let me give you guys a screenshot one more time of my personal recipe that I use to make and sell our bath bombs. Like I said, #1 seller, 21 years now. We must be doing something right. Okay, so there it is. We've done a couple of mold demonstrations. I've given you my own personal recipe. What are we going to do next? I believe next we're going to be doing bubble frosting. So stay tuned for that. If you haven't already, you guys, I'm going to invite you to like, subscribe, share, comment, do all of those things. That's how YouTube gets my videos in front of more people so that I can help more people. So if you do that, I'll appreciate you oh so much more than I already do. All right, you guys, that's it. Till we meet again.